Hi Virgo, and welcome to your November reading. My name is Linda. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've already shuffled all the decks that I'm using for your reading today and thrown your spread down. What we have here is where you are now. This is the challenge you face, the resources you can use, okay? This is the hidden forces, potential outcome. And we'll take one rune to get more insight on what is the spiritual lesson in your experience at the moment. All right, give me a second here. What I'm feeling here in this energy is that you're unsure about a person. And I think this King of Wands is someone that is in your energy right now that you are dealing with. And I think they're in the reverse, not necessarily because there's some issue with them per se. Like, it's not necessarily about their potential energy or about their personality or about their behavior or their actions. I feel that this card is in the reverse because you have your doubts about them. It's not that they are not a good person or they're not behaving well. I think that because you have this Two of Swords in the position of what challenge you face, that King of Wands is in the reverse because you are not sure about them. It's not that there is a problem with them necessarily. It could be. We'll get into it a little deeper. The Queen of Swords is here representing what resources you can use. So this is telling me that you need to apply discernment to your situation. And your situation is not just about this person right now. I think there's a full spectrum of issues going on here, or there's like a, how do I say that? There's a network of situations, people, and events that are happening, and you're kind of the hub of it. This person is just one aspect of it. But there's other things going on here that require your discernment, that require your focus, that require your clarity, honesty, good communication. This Queen of Swords for me is standing out in the reading as one of the more louder cards. It's telling me that this energy is something more strong, or is needing more of your attention than the other parts of the reading. So I feel like what's important for you right now, I'm going to jump straight ahead to the part of the reading where I sort of give some general advice. I don't really like to call it that, but it's like the cards are kind of describing here like the best action you can take, or the best way to deal with this situation. So that's what I'm going to describe now, and it's coming from the Queen of Swords. It's telling me that right now what's important is for you to be very discerning. It's about being, you see her composure, like her posture and everything. What that says to me is that this is a time to be not overly communicative, right? It's always important to be clear in your communication, but I kind of feel like what she's saying to me right now is, don't say more than you need to say. This is a time to be listening, to be receptive. See how she's got her hand open? That feels to me like you need to take in information rather than be outputting information. Take in information and be quiet and discerning and listen. Take that information in. Look at the bird over her head. It's like, it's not just the information coming at you from other humans and from your environment. To me, this bird here is representing like energy that's coming from source or from your higher self, from a place of wisdom. So it's kind of a little bit of a nod here to be somewhat introspective, or not introspective, what's the right word? I guess receptive. Just like take in the information right now, and don't necessarily feel like you need to talk too much about it, or that you even need to make too many decisions about it. I feel like the Two of Swords is here in your reading in the position of the challenge you face, not because you're refusing to make a decision, but because you're being urged right now by your guides, by your higher self, to resist the urge to make a choice right now, whether it's about this person or something else. Now it's just a time to be in your own energy and be in whatever environment you're in with whoever's in it, and just be quiet and listen and observe. That's the right word. It's an observation energy. Just be observing right now. You don't have to take too much action. You don't have to say too much. You don't have to do too much. Just be receptive and be observant. That's the message here. Receptivity and observation. Those are your key words. Because this Two of Swords, I feel it's like you don't necessarily enjoy the position that you're in. This feeling that you're in, it's a little bit uncomfortable, I must say. But you trying to squirm your way out of it by trying to force a decision now is not the right action to take, Virgo. The Seven of Coins is coming out here and you're reading in the position of what are the hidden forces. And how I'm going to interpret that is to say, right now, what you may not realize is, I mean, it's a very obvious thing, and I'm going to state the obvious, but you might not be aware of it right now. Whatever you're putting your energy into right now is what is going to grow into something bigger in the future. So again, it comes back to this energy of being discerning. Are you putting energy into things right now that are actually meaningful to you, that you would want to see grow? Right? If you're putting energy into something or someone that you aren't necessarily seeing a potential in the ahead, in the future, then I mean, that's something to pay attention to, right? I'm not saying to make a decision right now. This is about observing and being a little introspective, listening and witnessing your own self as well. Like, step back and see yourself from a position of the ultimate observer, from a position of like wisdom, and watch yourself and make that inquiry, like, why am I doing this? For what purpose is there? Like, what long term is this? Does this thing have longevity? Is this the type of thing that I actually want to invest my time and energy in? Because that's what the Seven of Pentacles is about. It's about investing and being patient. Okay? I'm hearing the word reward. I'm going to look it up in the dictionary because that's always fun to do. Reward. We know what it means, but it's fun to get the information from like a source. It says here, as a noun, a thing given in recognition of service, effort, or achievement. A fair return for good or bad behavior. A sum offered for information leading to the solving of a crime. Verb, give something to someone in recognition of their service, efforts, or achievement. So I think you get the point. Whatever you put in, whatever energy you put in will be returned to you, and that you may not get the instant gratification of that right now. That's my point. It's like there's an element of time in this reading. Always there's an element of time, but there's the Seven of Pentacles is talking about longevity. It's a futuristic kind of energy. Now you have the Balance card coming out here in the potential outcome. Now this card in the Voyage deck is called Balance, but it's actually the Justice card from the traditional tarot. And in this deck, it's number 8. Most decks have the Justice card as number 11. But in this deck, the Voyager deck, they have switched the Strength card and the Justice card around. So that the Strength card is number 11 and Justice is number 8. So what I'm feeling in this energy, because the Justice is coming out in reverse, this is a potential outcome. Actually, let's look up this rune, because I feel that's going to give us a really key understanding of what this energy is really about. So this rune is coming out in the position of your reading that it describes what is the spiritual lesson in your current circumstance. Now this rune is called Algiers, and it represents the elk, right? With these kind of fork prong things here. It represents the elk, and what that symbolizes is protection or a shield. And it says here in my notes, the protective urge to shelter oneself or others. Defense, warding off of evil, shield or guardian. Connection with the gods, awakening, higher life. It can be used to channel energies appropriately. Follow your instincts. Keep, hold, success, or maintain a position won or earned. Alright, how I'm going to interpret that in conjunction with this Justice card in reverse. The Two of Swords feels like it's relevant, because like even the shape of it, right? Like, I feel like this two of Swords is kind of, there's this protective energy, right? Like you want to shield yourself from any mistakes or bad decisions or poor judgment or any wrong movements or actions, right? So you're hesitant to make any choices at the moment. Justice in reverse, I feel like it is very much tied to this the Two of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Justice all have kind of a similar strong energy of balance, harmony, fairness, observation, witnessing, discernment, right? So it's kind of like really driving home that point that this is a time to be very observant, a little bit detached perhaps, a bit more like being objective or observant on your situation. Don't take extremes. Don't be extreme in your actions or in your behavior and your thoughts even. There could be, for someone watching this, there could actually be a legal situation here. You might be dealing with someone who you are trying to sort out a fair way of dividing up resources, right? The Seven of Pentacles, in things that you've invested in. Perhaps a relationship is dissolving here where you need to figure out how to fairly divide and split resources that have been, and assets that have been collected over time. Again, there's this thing about time in this reading. There's also an energy here with the Justice card being in reverse with this Two of Swords, Queen of Swords, where there's something about like facts, right? Like the facts of the matter. How you can rationally perceive and unravel facts to get clarity or to create fairness in a situation, to do something with the sense of equality in mind, okay? There's this energy of like balance and harmony and equanimity in this card. You know, this is like the sword of justice, and then there's these energies kind of balancing on it to create harmony and fairness and equality. So that's part of this reading as well. But back to the rune, because the rune is the spiritual lesson, right? Just want to read what it says again there. Protection or shield, the urge to shelter oneself, defense, warding off of evil. In general, I just feel like you are kind of wanting to make sure that you are not in any kind of danger, whether it's from this person, which is maybe a current energy, or some situation from the past, which is getting unraveled. What do I want to say about all of this to kind of summarize? There's nothing to worry about, first of all. Don't let fears of the worst case scenario or any kind of catastrophizing that you might be doing, don't let that get out of hand. Bring that in, reel it in, get it under control. Manage your thoughts and your mind. That's also an important point about these three cards. Create harmony in your mind. Overcome any tendencies towards becoming unnecessarily overwhelmed by things, or overly thinking things, or overly processing and analyzing things to the point where you're going to end up down this rabbit hole of worst case scenario, because I'm not seeing that in this reading. This is just more about you needing to kind of take a step back and be more discerning with your energy about where you put it, about what you're investing your time and energy into. And in general, what I feel here actually in these cards is that you kind of maybe just need to withdraw your energy a little bit to just be with your own self. You know, if there's a lot of things going on around you that you're needing to deal with that require a lot of patience and attentiveness and integrity and thoughtfulness and logic and all these kinds of things, that could just mean at the end of the day you don't necessarily want to have more things that are requiring you to be under any kind of pressure or have too much extra responsibility that you don't really need right now. Okay, so be willing to take time for yourself, be in your own space. Be a little bit withdrawn if you want. Protect your energy, definitely. Definitely. Protect your energy with this rune. Right? That doesn't mean that you have to embody this kind of energy that people are out to get you, or there's something dangerous that you need to be keeping yourself safe from. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just talking about you just being in your own energy, matching your own vibe with your own needs, right? Being discerning about what you invest your time and energy into, including people, situations, environments, social circles, whatever. And just do what you need to do for yourself to stay in a harmonious energy, to keep your own physical wellness in good space, in good check, and just like perceive what's going on around you. I feel like this is a time where there's like not necessarily a lot of things actually happening. This is more about just like observing, witnessing, watching, discerning, without necessarily making decisions or judgments. I feel like there's an element in this reading of time passing without you actually taking a lot of action or doing too much physically. Okay? Virgo, I hope you found that helpful. It's been an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now.